So I saw an angry comment from my last video, so this inspired me to make another one. Even though I was considering letting the channel die, because I started making dating sim content with another one of my friends, and this channel was initially meant to be made between me and one friend, but we don't live together anymore, so on and so forth. Anyway, this video will be called "The Concept of Layman and Why It's Difficult to Debate People." This is more of a rambling than anything else. Whether it be conservative, pseudoscientific, or conspiracy thinkers, people often get tripped up attempting to debate these people. This is because the average person is a layman in most fields of study. This is not to throw shade at the average individual, it's more so just a fact of life. To master one craft, we must shirk off other possible venues of study. An expert carpenter won't know as much about biology as a doctor, and vice versa. When stated aloud, this fact seems to be self-evident. This, however, makes it difficult to debunk all claims when a person who's blatantly wrong begins to talk out their ass. I will use a quick example from the latest Gaia video I've watched, which was called Electricity. Does electricity connect everything in our universe? This video is about the electric universe theory, which is a model that attempts to contest the standard held understanding of science that utilizes the gravitational model. I can't debunk most of this video because my understanding of physics is loose at best. The natural response to someone who claims that a large part of existing science is bunk would be, what is your proof? The burden of proof, a common point of argument, states that a person who makes the claim that contradicts the currently held consensus must provide proof of their claims. However, most people, when challenged with such claims, shoot back and state, what is your proof? Despite the fact that the burden of proof does not fall on you. Now here is where the fact that most laymen have issues. Often a conspiracy theorist or pseudoscience believer will have a few sound bites that they have memorized to a T that they spout off in a moment's notice, while you just have a gut feeling that everything they're saying is insane bullshit. I recommend when confronted with these asinine claims, the first thing you should do is fall back to what you know. How I would do this, for example, using the video that I quoted earlier, does electricity connect everything in our universe? I immediately saw the timestamp roughly at 3:03. The speaker states, cosmology is described as the queen of the sciences, the intellectual umbrella under which all sciences sit. Besides the fact that the speaker never attempts to substantiate these claims, I know that this statement is blatantly false because I have a background in history. When it comes to things viewed as the most important science, it has changed over time. If you went back to the time of the Greeks, most would probably say philosophy was the most important of the science, or the quote-unquote queen of the sciences. While if you go to Enlightenment thinkers, the average Enlightenment thinker would most likely state the quote-unquote natural sciences, which have now been broken up into a mixture of hard sciences and soft sciences in this modern day, is the quote-unquote queen of the sciences. However, I can pick apart tidbits of this argument as I have a decent proficiency with human history. However, let's go back to the example of a carpenter. Let's assume this person utilized his excess time while not working to learn other trades such as plumbing or electrical work. Because this person didn't spend their theoretical excess time on what we consider, learned pursuits, but more on productive pursuits. Again, not throwing shade. One must live as they find fit for themselves. One might not be able to negate any of these points presented in any of these videos directly. However, one still has a single trick up their sleeve, regardless of who they are, then that is appealing to Aristotle's logic. Aristotle's logic, or syllogism, I have a very difficult time pronouncing this, I'll just throw it up on screen, is defined as a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn, whether validly or not, from two given or assumed premises, each of which shares a term with the conclusion and shares a common or middle term not present in the conclusion. E.g., all dogs are animals, all animals have four legs, therefore all dogs have four legs. This understanding of the world is deeply ingrained into Western thought, to the point that many people will utilize it without ever actually thinking about it or having learned it directly. Now let's apply this logic to the current Gaia video, literally seconds after the last timestamp at 3:11. The speaker states, current Big Bang cosmology doesn't fit that requirement. It has no connection It has no real connection to us as individuals on this planet. Now let's use logical thinking on this to understand this statement. A theory, whether it's true or false, is not dependent on whether or not we are capable of connecting to it. I know that splitting atoms creates massive amounts of energy, even though that occurring has no connection to me. And this is the basic problem with these people's thinking. And oftentimes they will present arguments that one must assume that humanity is much more important than it is. And this really brings about their basic understanding. They misalign their own, and by byproduct, humanity's importance in the universe. We are unimportant. We are a race that will die out before the cosmos, and our leaving won't even cause a ripple. In the grand scale of things, we are important in the universe. So those are my very quickly inane ramblings. If anybody wishes to contest me on anything, you can share a comment or something. I would love to do debates because, to be honest, making normal content kind of sucks, and debating people will be something I want to get better at. And it sounds fun. Maybe you can convince me on something. Maybe you can disprove that the commonly held normal sciences are all wrong. Well, best of luck.